Hello, team. So I want to start by saying thank you so much for your work, and especially for giving me this document. What a great document, and it led me to appreciate your recommendation in a way which I hadn't fully appreciated when I only read your one page. And so I'll give a piece of honest feedback, which always risky when you can't see the receiver. But I don't think Jeff fully grasped the quality of your work based on just your one pager. And I really got to see it here, and so thank you for that. So I'm going to go through your recommendation, and I'm going to talk from a process perspective of what I'm noticing. So first of all, great document. In terms of, so it seems like you really were quite thorough in your process and rigorous. I'll be curious about your impressions from inside the process around how it felt like for you as you were going through it. So you went through all the steps, and what's interesting is right in the clarification stage, you started with how might Jeff improve operational efficiency. Then I suggested that it seemed like you were leaning towards technology. And then you changed it to how might Ludique leverage technology to improve operational efficiency. Now, I want to comment on that because I think that there was a point of ambiguity in that original framing of the challenge that then fed into that I'll be coming back to again when I get to your decision matrix and things like that. So the first question was, what led you to perceive operational efficiency as a problem to be solved? Because I think that was the core issue that came up for Jeff, was that, well, why do we need this efficiency? I know where my clients are. I have an email database. What's the problem that you're solving for me? So when I look at the rationale, you do talk in broad terms about the fact that technology can cause efficiency. And I thought that in this document, your example of the winery was compelling because that's another, relatively small business. So what I would ask is, if you stick with that problem statement around increasing operational efficiency through technology, what is the problem that you get from your research into Ludique that you're solving for Ludique? Why are they inefficient currently in their operations in a way that would be solved with technology? So then great BHAG that's aligned, so that your problem statement and your BHAG are aligned with each other, and it's just a matter, if you choose to keep that direction, of being clear about what your rationale is. Okay. So so let me keep going with I'm going to go with your process document. And I do not have comments on every page. So when I got to your ideas, they were just great. And so the first one was your phone app, which would be client facing. Your second one was the integrated business software, and this is where the winery came up, the example of the winery. And your third one was a reward system. So my question when I look at those was the alignment between those and the problem statement. Whereas, for example, so the accessory, the app didn't seem particularly aligned with operational efficiency. So I was curious. So it seemed that there was a misalignment where either you want all of your ideas to be in line with your problem statement and to respond to it, or you want to adapt your problem statement, right? I thought your PPCO was great. Good work there. And then I really went through it and I could really see, so for example, when I looked at the integrated software, I could see where you got the ideas, what were the problems you thought the technology could solve for Jeff. In terms of the app, I think the app is a really interesting idea, and so if you end up choosing to pick it up in your iteration, you'd also want to look at things like how it translates the brand, because of course this is very different than the integrated software, because this is client facing the app. And so when you move from this personal contact into the app, how does it translate the brand? And I didn't see that as in your concerns, which to me would be a major concern of going online with, oh, no, you don't have it actually. So So I think that's a major question. And the other major concern I thought of with the app that I don't see here, and which Jeff brought up in other teams' feedback, is technological feasibility. So, does software exist that would make this kind of app worthwhile? All right. So I thought your criteria were good in that you addressed both whether it's feasible, is it cost effective, and whether it's desirable. Will it free up time for the partners? Will it enhance the current customer relations? So I thought the criteria was good. However, I want to go back to that problem statement, because the challenge is, because it wasn't clear whether you were assessing based on operational efficiency or not. Some of the criteria didn't seem that meaningful for all solutions. So for example, you have the first two: increased brand awareness and customer relations. It's not clear to me how the integrated software scores high on those based on those criteria. So this integrated software, it seems like, is an efficiency thing. So it doesn't seem, unless I'm not understanding it, it's not clear to me how the customers would even be aware of it. I mean, indirectly, it would free up time for Jeff and Carolyn, and then they could serve the customers, but that's being measured already, assessed already, and free up time. So you already have that covered. So it's not, so it seems to me what you're weighing here is we have some things that are going to cost Jeff time, but they'll have a greater impact. We have some things that will free up time, but they won't have as great an impact. And I wasn't sure if you acknowledge that. So when you go forward into your next iteration, I just would like some more clarity around how you assessed using your criteria. For example, it's not clear to me why increased brand awareness, why a reward card would increase the brand awareness more than an app. So just something to think around how you came to these decisions. That's all that I have. This thorough PowerPoint is really helpful. I really appreciate, even though you didn't make it as your final suggestion, I appreciate the use of your image, because it really does bring home, it's helpful to visualize what this might look like. So in all, I appreciate the thoroughness of your process. I appreciate the way you converged. I wonder whether there was something in the clarification stage that wasn't yet clear enough, that there was a level of ambiguity about whether you are you going for operational efficiency, or are you going for marketing? And that it seemed like there was a disconnect between how you were framing the problem and then the solutions that you were providing. All of this, that's why we're doing another iteration. I look forward to reading your papers that will come in over the weekend. Thanks.